Hello, Stars. My name is Blue, and today we are lost in Homestuck Epilogue meets Chapter 34. Yo. I know I disappeared for a while. I don't have an actual excuse other than it was kind of good for me to just kind of not worry about anything. But we're back! We're back, and we're gonna go back into this full force. I meant to upload Monday, I almost said Sunday because that's when I record. I meant to upload Monday, but I got distracted. But we're back! We're going full force. Pester Quest just came out, so we're gonna be playing that since it's like the next installment of video games involving Homestuck and Hive Swap or whatever. So, and we're gonna be reading that short story that was requested. So, we got things to do every single day. So that's gonna be really fun. We're gonna start Pester Quest next week so that way I can have it upload every Wednesday. And without further ado, let's go. Speaking of giving it everything you got, here comes Jake McGear. We're off to a fantastic start. Jake's McGee about to pop his pistols off in front of a whole crowd of Cat's progressively prismatic proletarian partisans. Okay, let's strike that bit of alliteration from the record. I don't know what came over me. I probably just made the mistake of getting too close to that gaping black hole that radiates pure asinity from the space between Jake's ears. His event horizon of buffoonery has the dual effect of making everything around him slightly lamer, while sucking unsuspecting victims into wanton sexual indiscretions, which, if you're very lucky, you'll be too drunk to even remember. But, well, look at him. How can you not fuck this guy? I mean, I'm never going to fuck him again, but I bet there's a good chance that you want to. Don't even try to say you don't, because no one's buying it. After all, that's what this entire election is about to boil down to. Decisions made based off the primal fuckability of the dumbest asshole on earth. Okay. The crowd is all in a tizzy, waiting for Jake to sashay his famous ass back up to the podium. It was quite melodramatic, that little assassination fake-out I staged. It might have even inadvertently jumped the Vanta's campaign in the polls. Of course, I never do something so stupid as turn Cat Vantas into a martyr. God, could you imagine? The last time some incompetent asshole with his blood color bumbled his way into a tragically symbolic death, the entire troll race spent half a millennium stroking themselves off to it until they were convinced hearing the word fuck could trigger spontaneous enlightenment. No thanks. Did you really just talk about the sign list like that? No thanks. Jake's going to put an end to Carcat's political career with the level of gravitas it deserves. All the pomp and circumstance of a wet fart. Here comes the man of the hour. He stops at the base of the stage, adjusts his bow tie, rolls the hemline on his shorts up another notch to show off the top quarters of his finely greased vastus lateralis muscles. Just say ass, Dirk. He slides the endorsement speech Dave has so considerably prepared for him out of his pocket. I let him read it over one more time, even though there's nothing in the universe that could possibly matter less. Yo, are you sure you want to do this? Yeah, it's not too late to call it off. By which I mean this entire fucking comedy of errors that Dave preposterously insists on calling a campaign. Or how about the election itself? We can put the kibosh on that too if you want. If you're feeling uncomfortable, Jake, just say the word. We'll stick a prong shovel in the whole deal and go home. Dave elbows him, or, you know, just your speech. Don't be daffy, chaps. If I were the sort of man to balk at a bit of hot potato in the evening, I wouldn't be where I am today. Jake, I did not miss how you talk. Dave and Carcat exchange a look, but they don't stop him, though. Because a plan is a plan. Jake spins on his heel and goes swaggering up toward the podium, grinning cheek to cheek at the familiar sound of the crowd chanting his name. He sets his speech down and smooths out the paper, only to find his hands swamped with sweat. What's that, Jake? You didn't notice your hands were sweating until now? Not surprising, considering how overtaxed your few precious neurons are at any given time. Oh, folks, standing weather we're having here, isn't it? Jake's hands are so sweaty they smear the words on the speech beyond recognition. He begins to panic. Thank you, everyone, for coming out for this bingo of a day to, do whatever it is we have all congregated to do. At the bottom of the stage, Carcat and Dave put their hands together in an adorably platonic conspiratorial kinship. Carcat whispers directly into the shell of Dave's ear. I don't even have to direct him to do that. It's just his natural inclination to practically stick his tongue straight into the center of Dave's skull while practicing a bit of harmless, non-sexual, intimate close talking. Toby, could you not lick my leg? Thanks. Jesus, if I have to watch one more minute of this beta bitch calamity, I'm going to fucking dissipate on an atomic level. What is he doing? I saw him reread the speech. Yeah, I don't know. He does this public speaking shit every day. Maybe this is just how he warms up the crowd. Let's give him, Dave. You okay? Oh, I'm fine. For a moment, something felt off. Again? What, is the assassin going to take him after all? No, it's not that. It's wonderful to see such a jammy cornucopia of supporters. By golly, a lot of you sure are enthusiastic about that Carcat chap, which means that we potentially have a few things in common, since I've come here to Jake tugs at his collar. It feels tight suddenly. He's dripping buckets down under his suspenders. Dark patches are starting to form on his dress shirt. Rather, that is to say, in delicate times such as these, even though usually it's a tougher of a bad idea to talk politics in public, today we have all most certainly gathered here to have what is a political conversation. Yes, that does seem to be the lay of the land, that I've come here to tell you all about my political opinions, which I will get to shortly, and with minimal verbal bric-a-brac, because he's trembling so hard he begins to worry that the crowd can hear it, like the sound of somebody shaking a soda can filled with coins. He goes pale as the depravity of what he's about to do hits him like an 18-wheeler. I've made a terrible mistake. Hey, Jake. Don't undersell yourself here. You've made several terrible mistakes, especially as of late. One might say that you've made a shit ton of them, and that's just this fucking week. Or, if you'd prefer, a rusted jalopy. I don't fucking know. Stuffed to the whirly gigs with gum. Why are we starting with all these weird words? Or whatever, in an in-depth combination of Archaic word garbage will help underline the sheer level of personal failure you've managed to achieve. Why don't you give a good long think about that, Jake? Is this really a time for a good long think? Jake muses to himself, actually putting a finger to his chin like some sort of public domain clip art picture of a befuddled guy. If the crowd is confused by his rapid cycle mood changes, they don't show it. Jake's got a bit of a day drinking problem, which has been slavishly documented in the global tabloids. That's how you avoid responsibility, isn't it, Jake? You can fool your fans, but not yourself. The truth is, there's a canniness to the act. It's partly cultivated. You're stupid, but you're not nearly as stupid as you pretend to be. What in the devil was I thinking coming here? Why did I came here to slide the biggest knife any motherfucker has ever wielded directly into your friend Jane Crocker's back. She loves you, Jake, more than anything, and you toyed with her heart. And you would have gutlessly toyed with her kettle drums too, had it not been for a bit of divine intervention, let's decide to call it. But wait, you're thinking, wasn't Jane merely executing a cold-blooded maneuver to rein you into the stable of her campaign by using her body? How are you the bad guy here? That's true, she was trying to do that. But come on, she is ever so much less experienced than you in these matters, Jake. And without certain invisible guide rails in place to prevent it, she would have thrown herself at you again and again with wide-eyed girlish wonder. Or, at least, that's what you like to believe. That people can't resist you. That you have no responsibility for their feelings. That everyone uses you. That you're the victim. Yes, it's so unfair that anyone in this universe has ever had a single expectation of Jake English. Why should anyone respect your personal autonomy when you're practically begging to be taken advantage of? So tell me, Jake, which one of us is really the bad guy here? Jake begins to tear up. He wipes his eyes with what he thinks is a subtle and manful feint. But everyone in the crowd sees what's up. He's trembling, feeling small and naked and raw, like new flesh after his scab's been pulled away. He's scared. He's been scared. He's been running from this feeling his entire life, all because he was so pants-shittingly terrified of being in love with Dirk Strider. And why wouldn't he be afraid? He knows what will happen when he finally admits it, knows deep down that to truly love Dirk would be to submit to him. That's a scary thought. It takes a certain degree of mental fortitude to admit that you love someone so intensely it could subsume your entire personality. Oh god, hiccups. But Jake can see now that it's simply how things were meant to be. There are leaders in this world, and there are followers, which is a fact that has absolutely nothing to do with the position one prefers in the bedroom. Jake can't believe he wasted years denying something so elemental to his nature that it might as well be on the periodic fucking table. He braces his I read ahead, I didn't mean to do that. He braces his shaking hands on the podium and tries to catch his breath. His mouth is filling with saliva, much like it does when he's about to throw up, or when he's devastatingly aroused. Jake, are you aroused in public thinking about your ex? In such tight shorts? Sorry, I'm overdoing it. That should be enough. Dude's about to pop off. Words erupt out of his mouth like a tragic... thirsty... Why do these words have to be pronounced similarly? Vesuvius. I'm in love with Dirk. I am in love with Dirk. And to love Dirk is to obey him. What would Dirk want him to do in this situation? Definitely not sell out his good and dear friend Jane for a loudmouth pipsqueak who nosily transcends failure even as he redefines it. Do good by her, Jake. do good by me. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Boy, howdy. Sorry about the hiccup here, there, folks. Hiccup? I can't even say a fucking acronym. I almost forgot what the word was. SMFH. I've been dealing with some personal issues as of late and was momentarily distracted, but never mind that. I know you've all come here today to hear there has been quite a ruckus in the press these last few weeks concerning the subject of an election and most importantly where I stand on the candidates. So today I'd like to set the record straight on the matter as well as all other matters. You see... Oh no. Is he about to do what I think he is? What? What the fuck is happening? Karkat whips his head around and sees Dave bolt towards the stage, his palm outstretched to stop Jake from doing what he thinks he's doing. He's fast, but not fast enough. Jake opens his big, dumb mouth to make the only important contribution to the plot he ever has or ever will make in his whole, sad, pointless joke of a life. Having said that, it's not like we're going to sit around and listen to any more words that come out of his mouth that we strictly need to. Christ almighty, what are we, masochist? Nah, that's enough. Let's see what John's up to. Fuck you, Dirk! I forgot how hard it was to read the bright orange neon. You zap back to Earth C with the last of your energy, and I do mean last. You place your first foot on the ground, stumble forward 3 steps, and cough up blood. Trezzy has to catch you under your arms, but you're already going translucent around the edges. Your skin is cooling to the touch, the poison coursing through your blood so furiously it makes your veins feel like cords. Trezzy can tell you're dying. She's not in great shape herself, but she managed to tug you to your feet. John, come on, let's get you to Jane. You try to remember if you've ever been revived by Jane before. You honestly can't recall, so much of shit has happened. Maybe? It doesn't matter. It isn't a wound you recover from. It's game over this time. No healing, no afterlife, no cosmic clock proclaiming your sacrifice as heroic. The poison needling through your The poison needling through you is anti-diactical to narrative relevance. You're not dying, John. You're being erased. Cherubs don't fuck around. We've both been learning that the hard way. Okay, need a drink. Because I actually remembered water this time. I guess it's tragic, though. Maybe not in the conventional sense. My view is, the real tragedy with you, John, is that you never mattered all that much to those on the level of cherubs, and now on my level as well. You were never all that special despite the critical role you played. You were just a meddling glob of human glue used to seal one glaring gap left in canon. A simple tool to be wielded by a mechanic whose consciousness has risen high enough to see the machine for what it is. Your complete lack of remarkability, self-motivation, drive, opinion on where to direct your own fate, those deficiencies were exactly what made you so useful, so susceptible to being endowed with the you-ness I've borrowed to satisfy my purposes. You slip from Terezzi's grip and face plants onto the ground. You hitch an elbow beneath yourself so you can roll onto your back. You want to see the sky. What was it that you thought? What was it that you thought when you went home, John? Back to your real home? That the sky here is too bright? That it looks like someone nudged the contrast a couple degrees in the wrong direction? How does it look now? You close your eyes against the light. I don't think it matters. I don't think This is a wound Jane can fix. Don't be ridiculous. Trezzy, for once in my life, I'm being serious, okay? As soon as I got bit, I was dead. No, even before that, I was dead the moment I woke up that morning. That's a little melodramatic, John. Not quite. You died the moment you made the decision to go meet your destiny. You would have lived if you had made another decision under a certain definition of the word living. You might have even lived until the end of your immortal lifespan, as shitty as it sounds. The objective reality of that life might be in dispute, and some of the more pandemic connaissance out there, the outspoken sophist when it comes to what counts and what doesn't. They know who they are, but whatever kind of life in a bubble you'd be living, at least you'd still be breathing in it. That was the actual choice Calliope was giving me that day. That's why she looked so sad when you decided to fight Lord English, even though you knew both then and now that it was the only choice you possibly could have made. It was, John. This will be the best outcome for everyone. I promise. John. Hey, come here. Trezzy kneels at your side. She doesn't do anything sappy like take your hand, though. Mostly because she knows how this is going to go and doesn't want to experience the tactical sensation of feeling your pulse slow under her palm. I've got, dying words to say and stuff. Really? Dying words? Oh my god, Egbert, you really are the lamest person who has ever lived. This isn't a movie, you complete dumbass. You're dying and you won't even let me help you. Trezzy? Are you crying? She wipes her eyes and nods. I can't believe it. I resent the implication that I would pretend to be unaffected by your death after we had an emotionally significant sexual encounter in the back of a four-wheel device once belonging to your dad, Human Lucis. I guess even after all that, I'm still a little intimidated by you, huh? Still? Yeah, I mean, you have black feelings for me, but I just can't feel stuff like that. I'm just a human after all. John, it's okay. I'm glad that I got to be with you, even if it was just for a little while. Do you mind if I say something stupid? Potentially even multiple stupid things? Would you still say them if I said no? Probably. Then I'll be your death side confessor. Say all of the stupid things, John. I will remember them for you. Wow. That actually sounded kind of romantic. She doesn't confirm or deny the intent of her statement. She cries quietly and waits for you to say whatever dumb shit is rattling around in your poison adulated mind. There's a chilly breeze blowing in from the mountains. It rustles through the trees, breaking the perfect silence of the autumn afternoon. You try and touch her face, but you can barely see now. You miss and lovingly caress the air instead. Your hand lands back on your chest. You feel blood soaking through your shirt. You're bleeding again. Oh man. Now I'm on the spot. I can't think of anything significant to say. I always hoped that if I were in this position, I'd have something really awesome and memorable to say. Like Nick Cage would if he died. Don't worry, I'll tell everyone you said something really cool. Would you really do that for me? If you want me to. I don't think anyone will believe you. No, they will. I promise I'll watch every shitty movie like you like and find the right stupid fucking quote. Something nobody would even doubt John Egbert would use in his final words. They'll believe it, trust me. I'll make them believe it. Trezzy, you know, I think I really, don't you dare. I really Don't you dare fucking die on me in the middle of a love confession. I forbid it. But Then John dies in the middle of a love confession. Trezzy leans closer, then holds perfectly still. She tilts her ear towards him and sniffs once. There, she can hear it. The slow seeping of blood like a distant stream, his scent of life leaving his body, strangely, unmistakably, like the quality of air before it rains. She listens to him bleed and smells him die. Trezzy presses an ear to his chest and confirms that his heart has stopped. Her tears dry up at that. She's so devastated she can't even fucking cry. What is she supposed to do now when John was the one who asked her to come back to this place? Would she ever have had any intention of returning if it weren't for him? She doesn't know anymore. She remembers his voice, so earnest and fiable, asking her over and over to come home. In multiple realities, all he wanted for her was this, to be home safe, with all her friends. And now that she's here, she's lost. Legs shaking, she gets up to her feet and takes a whiff of the horizon. Where the fuck am I, she thinks. How do I just get on with living here after everything that just happened? That's definitely a fair question, but I have one that's much more important for her to answer. Terezi, are you seriously just going to leave the body here? Huh? Of course not. Terezi is a practical girl, after all. She digs the wallet out of her blood-stained pants, captures the corpse. She holds it close to her heart like a secret, like John's stupid last words, a confession whispered for her and no one else. And then she starts walking home. Okay. So it turns out that home is an entirely abstract concept, a state of mind, if you will, rather than a literal physical construct that can make you feel one way or another. Terezi's been gone long enough that her friends seem like strangers. Entangled in relationship dynamics obligatory excluded from. Embroiled in petty feuds, obsessed with politics. Oh, do you want to know how those petty feuds and political obsessions turned out, by the way? I thought it was pretty obvious, but I'll say what's up anyways. Jane swept the election, of course. I told you I was gonna win. After Jake's incoherent and scandalous heel turn at Karkat's ill-fated rally, no amount of historic three-dimensional JPEG artifacts could have salvaged the Vanta's campaign. Besides, Dave and Karkat now have other concerns, mainly that their BFF Jade has been in a coma for an entire month. That they've been in and out of the hospital handling her affairs. Her next of kin is listed as John Egbert, and no one's seen him in ages. It's like he just disappeared suddenly. Like some great hand came out of nowhere, came out of the sky and crossed his name off a big list of guys we ever need to give a shit about anymore. Trezzy heard about Jade from a rather harried Kanaya who is doubtlessly run-ragged from the hot potato circles that I've been sending her on for weeks to stop her from reading me the riot act of kidnapping her lovely wife. The woman is obviously hysterical and needs to chill the fuck out. I mean, she's hysterical because I've been specifically and deliberately causing her to be that way, sure, but still, she'll be fine soon enough. It takes Terezi a couple days to work up the what exactly? What is she supposed to be feeling right now? I'm not sure myself. Maybe I should take a minute to think about the thing you're supposed to feel when someone goes through whatever the hell it is she just went through. If I came up with any ideas, I could easily do her favor with helping her feel it. Whatever it is she's supposed to feel, what she actually feels is empty, colorless, dried up as she walks beneath the holographic billboards displaying Jane's glorious victory speech. The ceremony accompanying the speech is patently absurd, stuffed with so much pomp and circumstance that Terezi's nose can't make sense of what she's supposed to be looking at. It's all just light and color, signifying nothing. Her eternal spellscape is so discombobulated from the onslaught of pastry-themed floats and Jane's tearful soliloquy of the legacy of responsibility she is about to inherit. Oh. Where was it? There. That she mistakes the familiar figure standing in front of the hospital as someone else entirely. Hey, cool kid. How's Jade doing? Roxy turns around and blinks and queries. Oh, hello! You were not supposed to pop up. What? Roxy turns around and blinks in confusion. Terezi blinks back. Kainaya has warned her that Roxy has been going through some changes, but it still takes her by surprise. So, in her defense, it was an honest mistake to make. Dave gets half of his genetics from Roxy after all, and since her big heart-to-heart about personal politics and queer onion metaphors, and stage 10 of galaxy braining through the many vicissitudes of the phrase no homo, Roxy has decided to really step up her gender experimentation. I guess at this point she's gone beyond stage 10, which I imagine is somewhat like reaching Super Saiyan 2 of gender, and then going even further beyond. She's got the shades now, and sporting one of those swept over hipster cut Dave loves so much. Nothing ambiguous about this presentation, although if I'm being totally real, it's a bit derivative. Anyway, I can't complain too much about her decision to crib the starter style, since, you know, she's family. Besides, I'm T-minus 10 hours from fucking off this gay earth forever. It's her life, her gender, her style. She can be whatever the fuck she wants. Roxy's whole face lights up when she sees Terezi. Oh my god, Terezi! I didn't know you were back. What's up? Oh, Roxy, hi. I thought you were Dave. Oh, LMAO, makes sense. I thought for a minute you were appreciating my new rad look, but I know I got a ways to go before I dethroned the original cool kid. No, you're very cool. In fact, I would probably venture that if we were judging coolness in a formal coolness contest judged by the pros on 4 completely objective bases, you were actually about 4 billion times cooler than Dave. Well, thanks! Which is a fact that seems to be obvious, that I've definitely knocked several ranks off my own personal coolness attributes by even saying it out loud, rather than allowing it to be assumed. LOL, no way. Terezi, you're like the raddest chick I know. Terezi's jaw tightens. Hello, Mr. Bug, that is now on my desk. We are just having all sorts of interruptions today, aren't we? Woo. Terezi's jaw tightens. She's not ready to hear any words that remind her of those few hours with John. Her hand goes to her pocket where she's keeping the wallet. She traces the contours of it with her thumb and forces a smile. If you say so. Yeah, I fucking do say so. Don't make me repeat myself. Roxy seems almost effusive despite the circumstances. An earthly, genuine effusiveness that lights her up from the inside. Terezi's head is filled with stories about a different version of Roxy. The polar opposite of one standing in front of her. So, you're here to see Jade, huh? Yeah, I heard what happened to her and I thought I should come. Well, you know, pay respects. No, that's dumb. Terezi knows that's dumb. This is just a motion you go through. Don would definitely want to be here, though. And technically, Terezi is taking him back with her. He may be in her pocket, but lately she's been feeling more like he's under her skin. She hasn't told anyone what happened, but at least she knows she can look at him whenever she wants. Yeah, it's looking grim. On one hand, she's just lying there, so there's not really a chance of her doing anything either evil or heroic to off herself permanently. But it's also been so long. It's like, is she just gonna sleep forever? Sleeping forever definitely sounds like a Jade move to me. Yeah, lol, I feel bad about cracking jokes about it, but I think that's what she'd want. Us having hope and all. Yes. Where's Calliope? Are you two still together? Right? Oh. God. Back when Jade first got all effed up, Callie saw something and it made them freak. It took me weeks to convince them that it was safe to come home, but now we have the opposite problem. They aren't leaving the house at all. They stay home all day with the blinds drawn, painting some weird-ass shit in the walls. What? It's not as bad as it sounds, I promise. Some of it is like weird and violent and lots of nasty purple blood and nudity. Yeah, yikes. But most of it is cute stuff, like various combos of all of us being happy, getting married and shit. Anyways, that keeps Kelly kind of busy, so it was hard as hell to convince them to let me see Jade and all. It's like they're traumatized, and they think I'll drag whatever possessed Jade back into our home with me. Does Kelly know what happened to Jade then? Maybe, I don't know. I'm not gonna push them. Kelly's got all kind of hang-ups about their existence and purpose and potential lack of. When they're ready to talk about it, I want them to be able to talk about it, you know? Yes, it does sound like pushing them when they're vulnerable will backfire. Trezzy stares at her, startles a bit when her phone buzzes. Who would even be messaging her now when the only person she's ever talked to is currently dead and in her other pocket? She's intrigued, but thinks better of worried about it. It'd be rude to look on her phone when she's in the middle of a conversation. Oh, reminds me, have you seen John lately? Trezzy's heart skips a beat. It's almost as if Roxy is the one reading her mind. Why do you ask? No one else has asked yet. Roxy gives a shrug. The conflicted look crosses her face, but I can't see it. With the dead cherub out of the picture, the aura of void surrounding Roxy once again is impenetrable. Those baller shades aren't exactly improving my odds of reading her either. I'll say again what I've always felt about her on some level. Some riddles were never meant to be solved. He went back to the medium a while ago, right? I thought maybe you and he crossed paths. Trezzy does not flinch. Her pleasant expression does not falter. She's good at the appearance of confidence when racked with indecision and grief. No, I haven't seen him. Oh, damn, that's too bad. Kelly and I have been worried. Kinda hoped he'd come back, or at least let us know what he's up to. Ugh, between this and what's going on with Jade and the lack of closure's gonna keep me up at night. I'm sorry, I wish I knew what to tell you. It's fine. You can't fix everyone's problem. I know. Roxy pinches her lips together and examines Trezzy over the rim of her sunglasses for a moment. Maybe, having watched her own friend group suffer from stress fractures recently, she understands the weight of those words as uttered by the specific person, because Trezzy is a fixer. And it has been a very difficult lesson for her to learn that some things are simply out of her control. Maybe it's just that Roxy can hear the bone-deep sorrow in her voice. Oh my fucking god, it's him, you fucking oaf. What? Who are you loudly whispering to? Oh, nobody. Oh, my bad. Why not send him my regards? Tell him to make a kick-ass name for me. It suits the hell out of him. I'm not fucking telling him that. Whatever was bothering Roxy, it quickly passes, and he says nothing about it. He puts his hand on Trezzy's shoulders and gives it a warm clap. The fraternal kind, the kind with that fraternal kind, which a couple of solid dudes might exchange after having just broed out. It's convincing, actually, reasonably authentic, quite masculine. He's off to a great start exhibiting the mannerisms associated with his chosen gender. I'm genuinely proud of him. Okay, well, I should get going. It was nice catching up. Don't be a stranger, alright? Stranger than what? LMAO, you're a riot, but you know what I mean. Yeah, see you. As soon as Roxy's gone, Trezzy regrets lying to him about John. It's a hard secret to keep, but probably a harder one to reveal. Maybe it would have been better if she had run into Dave instead of Roxy. It would have been easier to confide something like that to Dave, wouldn't it? Well, maybe it would have been easier years ago in a different timeline. Then again, she messed that up, didn't she? But we can't beat ourselves up too much for our teen mistakes. Let alone the stuff we can't remember because it technically never happened to us. We have enough to worry about that. We have enough to worry about as it is, right, Trezzy? Ugh. I know you can hear me. Of course I can hear you. You've been broadcasting your nonsense at me nonstop since John zapped us back. I know that every member of your family except the one I just had a pleasantly brief conversation with is genetically incapable of shutting up. But can't you just let me be depressed in peace? I feel depressed all the time, but I can't remember having the luxury of feeling peaceful about it. Why should it be different for anyone else? What do you want? Come on, Trezzy, you don't belong here. You know you don't belong here. And what the hell are you gonna do about where I belong? And what the hell do you know about where I belong? What do you know about what I know? Have we even had a single sustained conversation that lasted more than 10 minutes? To be honest, I don't know if we've ever exchanged words at all. But why should that matter? Here we are. It's a beautiful day, you've got your dead boyfriend in your wallet, and we've already managed to strike a nice metatextual rapport. So, hear me out. I know that you've always felt out of step here on Earthsea. I know that you could easily put a brilliant act that would fool anyone. You could potentially do that for the rest of your life. But it will eat into you, hollow you out like a parasite because you'll always refuse to allow yourself to be understood. You know you'll never be happy here, and neither will I, because this place isn't for people like us. Dirk, I have no idea what you're talking about. Oh no. You'll see if you come with us. Hey, here's an idea. Why don't you bring him with you? Him? Yeah, you saved his body for a reason, right? Maybe it doesn't have to be the end for him. Endings are kind of overrated anyways. I'll give you some time to think about it. My door is opened, but not for long. And I do give her the time. I ease the throttle back a bit, just enough so that I'm not whispering directly into her ear when she slips the wallet out of her pocket. She clutches it hard on her palm and that she's digging dents into the leather and bites her lips. A gentle breeze is all she can hear, louder than my voice. In some understated way, makes my case for me more persuasively. She knows I'm right. Ooh, okay. Oh, I'm knocking over everything. Can we get the chair up back? Let's see. Last time I figured out how many pages there were in Meat, I said 44, right? Which means we're not that far from the end of this. We're like, what, 10 something? I don't know. We're not that far. We're 8 chapters away. 8 pages, chapters, whatever you want to call them, away from the ending of Meat before we can start on Candy. Is he gonna convert Trezzy like he converted Rose? I almost said Roxy. That wasn't correct. Anyways, that's it for today's stars. If you liked the video, give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already to join our wonderful galaxy. Comment down below and I'll get back to you in some way or another. And I will see you for our next adventure. Remember, we're all made in the same cosmic dust, so be nice. Kate, love you. Bye!